Hello everyone, this is Zach with the Aeong Show, and I am back with the All Elite Wrestling Forbidden Door 2025 recap show. The pay-per-view just ended about 10 or so minutes ago. Still, figuring out all my thoughts and everything, but I thought, just get the camera out and let's start talking about it. This was a pretty great show in London, England. The crowd was pretty hot the entire night, especially for the main event. 13 matches in total, pre-show and main card included. So a lot of stuff to go through. I'll just briefly go over the pre-show stuff, since something too major happened during it. But we started off. We had Paragon, Yuya Uemura, and El Desperado versus Crew and the Don Callis families, Hechicero and Josh Alexander. Fun little tag team match. Good stuff. Paragon won. Yuya picking up the win, which is always good to see. Then we had the Gates of Agony and Ricochet versus Speedball, Kevin Knight and Michael Oku. Again, another just fun match. The pre-show is just a bunch of fun tag matches, good stuff. Triangle of Madness and Megan Bayne versus Statlander, Willow, Queen Aminata, and Harley Cameron. Again, fun little tag match. Megan Bayne got the pin, no surprise there. And then for the trios title, the Ops beat Bullet Club War Dogs. Again, this was the shortest match on the pre-show, just right before the main card started, get the crowd up with a nice babyface win, good stuff. Then we started off the main card. Start off with Edge and Christian, or Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus Killswitch and Kip Sabian. Great entrances, of course. Edge, of course, always over wherever he goes now. I still call him Edge. Bear with me. I've done it for 25 years, so it's a little hard to change after that long. But yeah, him and Christian worked well together. There's a lot of Brian Danielson was on commentary for the whole night, except for the main event. But he was oh, can you really trust Christian? And Christian, was on the apron for a bunch of it, not wanting to mess with Luchasaurus at first. He did get into it with the Killswitch Luchasaurus as well. Cope and him, didn't really. They had a couple team up spots, but nothing too much so far. Kip was kind of pushing Killswitch around a bit. Still Killswitch is always kind of the henchman in a lot of places, even though Christian's gone, but now there's he's still kind of not number one at all. Then they won with Christian pop up Sabian. Edge hits him with the spear, 1, 2, 3. Good stuff there. Big win for them. Their first match since 2011. They'll definitely have more stuff to do in the future. They still have to deal with FTR, so that'll be interesting. Of course, depending on how long Nick Wayne's out for. He has I think it was a broken foot, so he'll probably be gone for a while at least. But whenever he gets back, maybe they'll continue that feud, and there's still Killswitch stuff, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with them next. After that was a really good match. Kyle Fletcher and Hiromu Takahashi for the TNT title. Yeah, this was a fun one. Hiromu's been one of the best in the world for years now, since he first came back to New Japan in 2017. He's just been on fire. Even he took when he had his neck injury and they had that year off, still came back just as good as ever. Here, him and Fletcher. Fletcher's just, again, Brian was putting over him a lot on commentary with Don. Just he's going to be a future world champion in AEW. There's no doubt about it. He has it all. He's still super young, and he's already this gifted. He's going to be a future world champion for sure one day. He's, building out his legacy right now at the TNT title, which is good. You need someone like him to kind of elevate the TNT title. I feel it's been, I don't say swapped around a bunch, but it needs one of those defining reigns where you're oh yeah, one of those like Darby had one of those reigns, Miro had one of those reigns. And then, it's kind of been, iffy since then. Christian had a pretty good reign, but it was, all over the place a little bit. So really need to see that, defining reign from Kyle to really, put him up there. But, yeah, he won. Great match. Real hard-hitting stuff. After that, we had Mercedes Moné versus Alex Windsor, Bozilla, and Persephone for the TBS title. This was a fun match. Bozilla really showed out, I think. She's from Stardom, and I imagine most people haven't seen her before. I'm not that too acclimated to her, but she really did well in this match. I mean, big, strong, did pretty much everything, looked good. Persephone looked good as well. She had some big spots. Windsor and Mercedes were great. Mercedes comes out, of course, like a star as usual. And I mean, she wins, which no surprise. Gotta keep all those belts. I think they said she won another belt like a couple days ago. She's at like 9 now. So I mean, can't stop Mercedes Moné. After that, we had the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match between Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel McGuinness. This was just like real technical, real snug. I mean, what do you expect from these two guys? I mean, when you have Zack Sabre Jr., probably the best technical wrestler in the world, you have Nigel McGuinness, who, while he's only been like back wrestling again for the past like year or so, he was at least one of the best technical wrestlers when he was in his prime, and he can still, I mean, technical wrestling is one of those things where at least it's a lot more finesse based and a lot more about like moves. It's not about like taking super hard bumps and stuff like that. So like, even if you're older, as long as you're like still mobile, you can still do it all. Like, he still looked great in the match. So it's not one of those things where like ring rust, where like some people can't, like, not to say anything about Tanahashi, but I mean, like, you can see he's noticeably slowed down because his style's a lot more flashy of like high flying and all that stuff, where it's like ruined his knees to the point where he's a lot slower. Well, Nigel wasn't that much of a high spot guy. So, but yeah, great match. And Zack Sabre Jr. came out with the win on a quick roll up. You know, he definitely showed the wear and tear, because I mean, he's coming off the G1. He last wrestled against Takeshita in the semifinals like a week ago. So I mean, he's definitely banged up after that month-long tournament, and having to wrestle Nigel for the title on the line. You know, he's not coming in 100%. While Nigel, you know, had a little bit of time. He only wrestled like the one match in the past like month or so. So, you know, he's a lot more rested compared to ZSJ, but he still did get the win. After that, we had the tag team title match, which originally I thought was an elimination match. Like, I'm pretty sure they mentioned it on Dynamite, that it was a 3-way like dance rules where it's like elimination style. But then, nope, just one fall to a finish for this. Brodito surprisingly came out on top with the titles, which I was getting very surprised by. Just because, I mean, I was picturing FTR is definitely going to come out of the belts. They'll go face Edge and Christian for the titles in Toronto at All Out. But instead, they're the ones who got pinned. Her Syndicate didn't take the pin, or were a part of the finish at all. They got taken out by Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, who dragged them to the back, and then the match ended. There's a little bit of a kerfluffle with the finish. I'm pretty sure it's because Bandito wasn't the legal man, so he tried to like not take the pin because he wasn't legal, but then they're just like, take the pin anyway, so he just, you know, it kind of like messed up the final count and all, but whatever. But yeah, Brodito, new tag team champions, is an interesting choice. I mean, again, they're kind of like a makeshift team. They only started forming for this tournament. I mean, they're really good together, so, but I was just surprised. I thought it was FTR definitely going to win, but then not. So, I mean, we'll see what happens next. FTR definitely still have to face Edge and Christian, but who knows with Brodito and all that as well. What's next for them? After that, we had Kazuchika Okada and Swerve Strickland for the unified title. This was another good match. Again, this card was very solid top to bottom. Nothing really stood out as bad. Like, you know, everything was like real solid throughout the night. Like, everything was like around like a 7 or an 8 for the most part in terms of like ratings. Like, they're all great matches. This was another really good one. I mean, Okada, of course, is always one of the best wrestlers of all time. Swerve's really good right now. I mean, he's probably, maybe he's taking time off right now. I mean, they didn't like fully kind of like you know, write him off. He kind of got taken off after he lost. I mean, kind of like destroyed his knee between the steps and the turnbuckle. But I mean, like, he didn't get like carted off or anything like that. So I mean, he's probably gonna take time off, because I mean, he did mention that he's been dealing with a meniscus tear in his knee for like 6 years, which is kind of like, Jesus Christ, you've been going this hard for 6 years and you've had your torn meniscus. I mean, obviously you can still wrestle with it, but I mean, I imagine you just want to get that fixed at some point, so you're not dealing with that anymore. And then, of course, after the match, Wardlow returned after, it's been like a year and a half. Pretty sure the last time he was around was like with the Undisputed Kingdom. He got like injured pretty quickly into that, and then like he disappeared. So yeah. Now also of course like Adam Cole was gone at that point, so like the whole group kind of like floundered out after that. But yeah, now he's back. He joined the Don Callis family, took out Prince Nana. Swerve was of course like his knees like destroyed, so he's just like watching on as it's happening. Wardlow back is interesting because I mean I feel like a lot of people thought he would just be like leave, like he'd probably be like Ricky Starks or something. It's kind of like his contract would end, he'd leave, go to like NXT or something like that. But apparently he's back, which is surprising. I want to see how he looks because again it's been a long time. He looked a little bit bigger, he looked a little bit more buff. Should be interesting to see like how he is in the ring right now. Is he still going to be because he was pretty mobile and high flying like before? Is he still going to have that in his repertoire? Again, we haven't seen him in a long time, and even like before that injury, he wasn't around for a while. I'm pretty sure. So we'll see what happens with him. Okada's still champion, no surprise there. All the Don Callis family came out. Takeshita came out last, of course, the G1 Climax winner. He got that giant roar from the crowd. Will be interesting to see what happens there, of course, because like Takeshita is definitely a guy who isn't really heel, but like the rest of the family is very much bad guys. Takeshita is kind of like the ace, the alpha, like he's that guy, but like he's not really like fully dirty like the rest of them, but he still hangs out with them. Like he's real close with Fletcher, but then like Okada he's like beefing with. We'll see. Definitely Okada and Takeshita need to have their big match at some point, probably for the unified title, maybe during the Continental Classic. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, great match. After that, we had Timeless Toni Storm defending her AEW Women's World Championship against Athena, who was cashing in her title shot that she won with the Women's Casino Gauntlet match at All In. This was another, big match. Toni Storm, of course, has been delivering constantly throughout this entire year. Athena, of course, the longest reigning ROH champion in history, 988 days, I think they said, as of today. Crazy. I know she's defending the title against Mina on, I think it's this week is the next ROH show. But yeah, Mina also came out at some point to remove Billy Starks. This was a really solid match. Athena was definitely in control for a lot of it, but Toni did get the win with the crossface chicken wing. Interesting. I really thought Athena was going to win here, just because who else is going to beat Toni at this point? Because I mean, Mercedes lost, and that was like, okay, Mercedes not going to win, then you're probably going to give it to Athena, right? Because Athena's again hasn't really lost at all, besides the one Mercedes lost in the past like 3 years. So like she seemed like a definite person who could come in and beat Toni, but then she loses. So now it's like I don't really know where this is going, because I mean, I don't know. I mean, we did. I forget when that happened during the show, but Jamie Hayter is back because she did return to save Queen Aminata from beatdown by the Triangle of Madness. So maybe Jamie could go after Toni, but we'll see, because I mean they haven't touched at all since Jamie's been back. I mean, or back the last time. Now she's back again after her injury. Because Toni, a part of like her, Paige, and Ruby were like the ones who took out Jamie like 2 years ago at Forbidden Door. But then, Jamie has been not really dealing with Timeless Toni Storm. I mean, she was in the Owen Hart tournament and almost challenged her, but lost to Mercedes, so didn't get to face her at All In. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, as of now, Timeless Toni Storm is still the AEW Women's World Champion. And that leads into the main event of the sanctioned matches of the show. Hangman Adam Page defending his AEW Men's World Championship against MJF. MJF, of course, not using his title shot that he won at All In Casino Gauntlet match. He just goaded Hangman into giving him the title match by almost burning Mark Briscoe alive. So do what you gotta do, I guess. This match was probably my favorite match of the night, I'd say. I mean, it was just, these two have great chemistry. The match earlier this year at Revolution was really good. This one was another one, just a lot of stuff going on in it. Just, a lot. MJF, of course, of trying to, since he made the match where Hangman could lose the belt on disqualification or countout, so he was trying to do that a bunch during the match. Never really worked out. The ending was weird. I'm just gonna say it. I didn't like the ending at all. I think the match was great. The ending was just real wonky for me. I mean, like, he had Hangman beat. Goes the ref, like, knocks Bryce into Hangman, and then they collide. So Bryce is down. He doesn't see. He hits the low blow on Hangman. Hits him with the heat seeker. He's got him done. Ref comes in, 1, 2, 3. Hangman has his foot on the rope, but like Bryce counts the 3 and then just like collapses. Like, he just collapses. Like, and then it's like, okay, he's like, he didn't call, like, it's not like usually you call for the 3 and then like, oh, he notices the leg and then like, okay, they reverse it, start the match over, or like he like immediately sees the leg and then like just keeps the match going. But like this time he just was like dead, like he was just out, like, and so then MJF's like standing up, like, what's going on? And then like Mark Briscoe comes out and like he's gonna get involved because that's how MJF beat Mark Briscoe, because Mark Briscoe has his foot on the rope, but the ref didn't see it during that match. And then MJF removed it, but then Mark Briscoe is like doesn't even get to the ring, gets pulled back, and then like MJF goes to remove the foot from the rope because he notices it finally, and then like Bryce just jumps to his feet and he's like, no, and I'm like, Bryce, you were just like out cold, you didn't call for you made the 3 count, didn't, like, what's going? And then like it's a little bit more nonsense. Heyman hits him with the title shot steel clipboard or whatever, and then hits it with the buckshot, 1, 2, 3. I mean, again, great match. Hangman won, which I wasn't surprised by, but like, yeah, just weird ending. I just thought it was, again, I thought it was weird just because I feel like if Bryce would have immediately noticed the foot, that'd been fine, or like if he would have like not noticed it, but then like Mark Briscoe came out and told him, and then they're like, okay, restart the match or whatever. But it was just weird because like he made the 3 count and then just like collapsed. Like usually the ref's gonna like call for the bell or whatever, but like he just collapsed after 3. I've like never seen that before. So yeah, a little bit weird, but still, great match. And Heyman's still the champion. We'll see what happens next. MJF still has his title shot, so he's still got a guaranteed title shot whenever he wants. He'll probably use that at some point in a cheap manner, but we'll see. But yeah, great match. And then in our main event of the evening, the unsanctioned lights out steel cage match, you had the team of the Golden Lovers of Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus the Death Riders of Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Gabe Kidd of Bullet Club War Dogs, and then the Young Bucks. Yes, this was a crazy match. I mean, lights out steel cage. The cage was kind of like Hell in a Cell-ish, kind of like the if you've seen the War Games match between the Bullet Club War Dogs and the United Empire from like last year in New Japan, kind of like that, where it's a steel cage but surrounding the ring, so it's not like closed off like the Hell in a Cell is. It's just open, but like it is just like the normal steel cage. Just wild stuff in this match. The entrances were great. Ospreay especially had Alex Windsor like narrating his intro, kind of like just talk about who he is and like the person Ospreay's become, like how proud she is of him and how proud like everyone is of Ospreay. Ospreay's entrance, of course, crazy. I mean, this, I'm just gonna say it right now, before anything, this man needs to be in the main event of All In next year at Wembley. Like, he needs to be in the main event of All In next year, and he needs to win the main event of All In next year. Like, I don't know how, like, you can't, I mean, you have to, like, wait now, but, like, you can't keep waiting. Like, this man is maybe, like, the best wrestler in the world. He's super over. Like, he's a star. Like, Ospreay comes out, like, this is the guy. Like, I mean, I've been an Ospreay fan for years and years and years and years and years now. Way back when he was a junior, before he even got to New Japan, like him on the indies and stuff like that. Like, he's always been phenomenal. I've always been a supporter of his. Like, he's always, I mean, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Definitely in my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. He's just, I mean, he's had some of my favorite matches. And he's just a star. He's a guy that you easily can believe in, easily want to get behind to see become a champion. So when he gets back, so I know we'll get to that, but when he gets healthy again, he definitely needs to be in the main event. So we'll see. He needs to be world champion sooner rather than later. But yeah, this match, crazy. I mean, Darby was getting like destroyed. He got thrown into the cage from in the ring. He had his ear like mutilated by Moxley with a fork. He was bleeding like super early. I don't even remember how he got busted open. The move, like him and Gabe Kidd on the top of the cage and then flying through the 4 tables. Gabe Kidd is a monster. Because Darby like was on, like the way they landed through the tables, Darby was like on top of him, so he got like smushed down. Like, Jesus, that had to hurt. Just wild stuff. I mean, the gummy bear spot was hilarious. Like, that was hilarious because like earlier in the pre-show, the Bucks went up to like one of the crew people and was just like, hey, fill up this bag with like the dangerous, most violent thing you can find in London. And so then they pull out the bag and they empty out gummy bears. That was hilarious. Also, their intro was hilarious with like their original music from like their debut, like way back when they first debuted as wrestlers. So yeah, that's still hilarious gimmick going on right now. I mean, Moxley was going crazy. Kenny, I mean, it's Kenny by God Omega, still the man. I mean, he's still like the ace of AEW. He's still the face of AEW, in my opinion. Tanahashi was doing some good stuff as well. I mean, he picked his spots well. The one spot when he was getting ready to climb up the cage, and Ibushi and Ospreay are like, no, please, no, don't do it, Tanahashi, that's not for you. And then Ospreay climbs up and does a moonsault off the top of the cage. That was good. I'm trying to remember all the spots. The barbed wire table spot, good. I mean, Kenny and Ospreay were doing some great double T moves. The hidden blade into the V trigger. When Gabe Kidd was sick, and then the ending move, he has him up for the one-winged angel. Ospreay, bam, hits him with the hidden blade into the one-winged angel. I think it was on Matt Jackson for the 3. I mean, just great stuff. And so they won the match, and everyone's like, okay, they're all celebrating. Kenny gets Darby, they're all celebrating, and then they leave Ospreay in the ring to enjoy it, that home crowd moment, and then the Death Riders hit. They sneak back in, they attack Ospreay, they lock the cage. Moxley hits like, I don't even know how many Death Rider DDTs on him, just over and over and over and over. Ospreay's like flat. They put the chair around his neck, do the stomp thing again. Like, I mean, we knew kind of going into this that this was probably going to be the last we're going to see of Ospreay for a while, because he's made it very clear he needs surgery on his neck. Like, he's gonna need it, so it's probably best he does it. So you're probably expecting this would be his last match for a while. They really made sure of it by having the Death Riders just completely destroy him at the end of the match. They had the whole, like, Kenny and all of them are back in the ring at this point because they lifted up the cage. The Death Riders went running, skedaddling out through the crowd. They're in the ring. Kenny's like pissed off because he's like, where's the people? Like, where's the stretcher? Get him in there. We need him right now. But yeah, Ospreay will be missed. I mean, if Swerve and Ospreay are both injured Ospreay is definitely been injured for a while because, I mean, neck surgery, spinal surgery, I'm not really sure exactly what it is or how long he'll be out, but I mean, it's probably going to be a while. Probably not till next year he'll be back, I'm assuming, just because of that type of surgery. And Swerve, I mean, probably won't be out as long, but still, that's big hits. But I mean, the thing about AEW is they do have a lot of talent. So I mean, there's a lot of people who can step up immediately. So there's no real risk of that. But yeah, it will be interesting to not have them around for a bit. I mean, at least Darby's back, so you have Darby immediately ready to go. Him and Moxley, of course, still haven't done their singles match, and that'd probably be really brutal based on the way they're treating each other in this match. But yeah, great show. Really enjoyed it. I mean, best match for me was probably Hangman MJF, even with the weird finish. I mean, the Lights Out Steel Cage was crazy as well, probably up there as well. Hiromu and Fletcher also really good. Those are probably like my 3 favorite matches of the night. But yeah, great show. AEW does it again. Great. You should go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. This is, of course, I'm going to upload this right after. But yeah, phenomenal show. AEW, can't wait for Dynamite, can't wait for Collision. All Out next month. Should be interesting. Don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we'll probably get, I would assume, maybe like MJF and Mark Briscoe on there and like Moxley and Darby on there. But the rest of the show, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, also FTR and Cope and Christian, but besides those 3 matches, who knows? We'll see. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. This has been Zach with the Aeong Show. Leave a like, leave a comment on what you thought about the show, any of my thoughts on the show. Subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll see you next time, and see you then.